So what I like to think about, kind of a different motivation, like what drives your motivation, is that you really gotta have a purpose. Like, as in, what do you want to do? Like, what do you really live for? It might be sounds so deep. Like, I don't know. I even don't know. Like, what I want to live
really,
for.
I don't think anyone really
Right.
knows.
But you know what? What I like to know, like, what I like to do is that I like to get back to my family because they provided so much for me.
3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the Way Podcast with your host Sajid Marwar. We're in a different location right now. We got a little better video set up. Can finally have a live guest. This is the first episode of the new year. Happy New Year, guys. I hope you all had a good New Year celebration, winter holidays and all that. And I hope you have a great 2020. Today we have a new guest, someone I've met recently. He goes to my school as well. His name is Jeff Xia. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm Jeff, and we're in the same program. We're in Raman Commerce, and this year I will be choosing management. And I don't know about surgeon, but I really like strategic and all the planning, the project management in that aspect. And yeah, I'm excited to be on the podcast.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do management as well.
Yeah?
That's
seems easier at U of T, right?
Yeah, econ courses are just
Right.
a little brutal. But right. I mean, we still got to take some. But
we do.
Yeah, so for today, why don't we just discuss some of your interests?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I kind of missed that during my intro, but yeah, I like a lot of sports, and I think one of the big things that I was working on, is just personal development, and that just helped me progress so much with the challenge at sea, or just kind of coming to my face every even single morning. If I just want to wake up or anything, I would think about the thing, just keep me motivated in a sense. It's such a competitive sort of like the program. And yeah, I'm happy to elaborate more on this. And yeah.
Cool. When we first met, we kind of, we got into talking about, personal development, a little bit of your backstory and all that. Would you mind sharing just something about
for sure. I think at the very beginning of this journey was the YouTube videos that really helped me kind of finding what I really like, what I'm just curious about. Back then, there's not a lot of algorithms on YouTube.
That's true.
And not a lot of ads that you can watch a lot of videos. I'll just tell you this. I used to hate reading or watching kind of any kind of documentaries or even podcasts. I think it's useless. It's just it's words that people say, and sometimes they never do. It just words. But it comes to realization a couple of times, because especially when you see a lot of things that you don't like, you get more exposed to those because you kind of just want to judge on it sometimes. So I kind of like see more of the YouTubers who do sort of like the productivity aspect of the videos. And I just clicked one of them, and I was like, wow, this is something I might need in my life. Right? I'm sure you watch a couple of YouTubers.
I think everyone has seen like the Mark. What was his name? Matt DeValia.
Yeah.
Of course, he has like the best
dude.
thumbnails.
Right. Definitely. He's making great videos too, and definitely recommend it. And also just a bunch more like Ali Abdal. He's a medical student. At Cambridge, top of his class, and just amazing.
I don't know how that guy like just does 1,000 things. He literally
does.
He learned how to code on his own.
Yes.
He's created like many different websites. He's if you don't know, he was like had the top average at Cambridge University in his medical program.
He had also a lot of businesses right now. Just on Skillshares, he has videos. these people is just so positive. They really give you just a vibe that you really want to just be with them, and you want to do a lot of things with them. They're just there for you, and they're supportive and all. I love that, and I think one of the things just drive me into wanting better myself is that I don't want to get stuck at being me. I wanna always like progress. I wanna see changes.
Yeah.
Like I get bored a lot by things that are stagnant. Right? Like just things that are not really moving. I like that means literally and also just abstractly. Like I like F1 cars. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fast moving things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But at first, it was really that one night actually. So what happened that day was I had a case competition, and I had to prep
Was
for
it
that.
for 100 or?
No, it was in high school. It was
okay.
in high school, and our team didn't do much work. I'll be honest, but we managed to get it done by 2 a.m. the night before, right?
Okay. Got it done.
And then in the morning we have to wake up around 6 or 7 to present it, to showcase ourselves, which not a lot of contents were showcased at that day.
Yeah.
Because we kind of crammed it, like a lot of the high schooler did, and we did horrible. We absolutely didn't know what we were trying to say, and I feel horrible because it could be just the competitive nature of me, but I feel like I wasted my time. I feel like I disappointed my teammate because I didn't really finish my part either. Right? I want to do better now. Like I want to at least get myself out of this dump. Right?
Okay.
I didn't get much sleep. Even though I finished around 2, I went up still on my phone for another an hour. It's always like that for me at the time. So I remember at lunch, after the competition, my dad asked me how it went. I was just thinking like, oh no, yeah, just no.
Did not go well.
Right. Just cook cook anything for me, and then I'll eat. I'm gonna take a fat nap because I'm really tired and I just want to go to sleep. But you know what? First of all, at the time my dad doesn't really cook that much because of COVID. And he always just keep the very simple meals. Like he will cook dumpling, just boil the water and put the dumplings.
Yeah.
Or it's like very basic Chinese cooking, just like wash the vegetables and stir fry it like that. It's just I kind of get bored of it, and I was kind of holding a grudge for him making the same food every day. So I didn't even eat much. I just really it was a frustrating morning, and it was kind of a angry attitude toward him, or just not really, just like a bad attitude toward my dad. So I went to shower right away before I sleep, and as I was showering, I was playing some YouTube videos. But somehow the recommendation for the video I was playing, I couldn't remember what it is. But the one after, it's called motivation speeches from the famous people, or just people that you know.
Yeah.
I remember there's some quotes about, oh, you gotta push yourself. Like you wake up in the morning, you think about what you gotta do for the next day, and then you push your limits and all that thing. It's sort of like it got me into tears right away. I was like, wow, I have not been doing any shit at all. This is really, really bad. I gotta start. Yeah, I gotta start anything. I gotta start something. I have been wasting countless hours where I could achieve so much more. That's like kind of a realization from a sleep deprived me, and sort of like a half failure, you could say. Yeah, that was the start of me getting a little bit changed.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people have that kind of like wake up moment or whatever. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I can't remember a very specific time.
Right.
It was, I don't know. I mean, I've always wanted to do stuff like that. You know, like just my parents always pushed me, and that I appreciate that. Obviously, it can also put some pressure on you.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes pressure is good, but too much is.
Right.
But you got to be able to handle. You got to be able to operate because life is stressful.
That's true. I mean, I think one of the moments that you really get started with the Way podcast, that is one of the moments, right?
That was one of those things
Yeah.
where I was like, just start it, just
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
It's not a why worry about it. And look, but this will be I think this is gonna be the 13th episode we've filmed.
Right. See how far you came around, right? Like
Yeah.
it's already such a long journey, right?
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
I released my first episode August 29.
Mm-hmm.
August 29th, 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
See, you remember that day?
Yeah.
I don't really remember my date. It's
Yeah.
2020 and around April for sure. I
Yeah.
remember that. And since then it has been a year and a half of changing. It's just constant moving forward. Every few weeks I will have a new realization in a sense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump to the topic real quick. It's about like social media. It's kind of like how everyone or most of us are very addicted to this.
Yeah. I had a previous episode about this too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like briefly go over it. So what happened is I used to have an iPhone 4S in grade 8.
Mm-hmm.
Did not have Instagram. Did not have Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't have anything other than Clash of Clans.
Yes, Clash of Clans.
So I just play one game, right? And of course I get bored, and also my phone is very laggy. 4S.
Yeah, 4S.
So I asked my dad, hey, can I get a new phone? He said, oh, if you do well in school, you can get one. I said, oh, okay, I did well in school and I got a new phone.
Nice.
I remember that date as well. It's 2015 and December 21st. I
There
got
you
my
go.
first actual phone. But I started like downloading all the kind of apps. I just want to get to know people. I want to like kind of feel this like emptiness when I'm on my own, right?
Mhm.
Like my parents aren't really close to me at some point because I'm all the way study abroad in Canada, and they're just kind of here and there, not really always here for me. So I just want to like meet new friends. So I had a lot of people on Instagram. I just follow them, right? So and then grade 9, grade 10, this kind of like adds up. What really blows up is around grade 11, where I
Yeah.
just start spending hours on Snapchat, the stories,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Instagram stories, right? At the time, there was no Reels, thank God. I would be even more addicted.
Oh yeah. Just endlessly.
Yeah,
scrolling.
just swiping like TikToks, right? So grade 11, I was averaging around a horrible 10, 11 hours a day. And that is, if I think about it today, I'll be still in shock. Like, that's
Yeah.
so much time a day that I'm on the tiny screen. And for doing this for an entire week, that's around 7 times 12.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
84 hours that I can potentially do something else
Yeah,
other than
yeah.
scrolling for nothing, right? I didn't really get much out of it, too. I'm not saying social media is bad. Just like when you come to this point where you're overusing it, it's too bad.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that realization that I said earlier, I just decided, hey, I'm gonna get off Instagram. I'm gonna get off Snapchat. Like, I'm just gonna, like, not archive, just like temporarily disable my account.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do that, right? I'm not gonna like delete my account, but I'm gonna not talk to people. Okay, that sounds very antisocial, but I had a reason and purpose for that, right? And then it happened for a week of Snapchat for me, and around a month of Instagram for me.
Mhm.
So, and for Snapchat, I just realized there's no point in keeping streaks where you have to like send
Oh, yeah.
people every day.
Yeah, I
for-
stopped them like I was doing
S,
it in I know,
right.
like I was doing that in like grade 9, and then after that I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, no,
It's such a
there's-
waste of time.
There's
Who
really
cares?
no point in doing that at all. So that 1 month of getting off Instagram, it was also around, I think it was a month of May. I started around mid-April-ish, and then got it back around mid-May-ish. The really reason I wanted to do that is just kind of focusing on things I like elsewhere instead of just on my phone.
Mhm.
I didn't like reading, but I actually picked up reading
Yeah.
from being really bored. Because
Yeah,
I didn't really
yeah.
have a lot of things on my phone to do. And also I would just I was even binge watching shows too. Like I feel like even that's a little more. It's just a little better than just having
Yeah,
your
at least
phone
you
around, right?
consume something that could potentially give you
Yeah.
meaning, you know, or
'Cause
give you some sort of knowledge.
my personal like feelings about TV shows that it actually helped me with my day-to-day conversation with people because my English was really bad, and that actually helped me. Right,
Mhm.
I was watching nonstop watching Friends, all the
Yeah, yeah,
comedies,
yeah.
and in grade 8, yeah. So after I did that 1 month of Instagram, sort of like a
Detox almost, yeah.
detox, and I I just realized how much more I can even achieve from this little month. Like I feel like I'm finally able to control my life.
Mhm.
That's where the growth mindset just starting to hit. Right? And at first it was like a cue, like a trigger for me to kind of act on something. And then once you have the momentum, it kind of like build up for you to doing something even better. Right. So in June, July, I really thinking, oh, should I create a blog? Should I do something big?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I didn't create a blog, but I did. One of my interests is music. Right.
Mhm.
I reached out to one of my high school friend, and I just like, hey, he's a local artist in Vancouver, a music artist, and I just like, hey, I want to know more about what you do. I just did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And then he told me a lot more about what he's doing, and then I said, that's so awesome. And what do you think of the chance of me writing a music blog? And he said, you know what, do more research on it. And I did. And I know it didn't really work out because I think, my expertise is not really in music, and I'm not too passionate about music, but I'm passionate about, you know, sustainability. I'm passionate about other aspects like personal growth, like I'm saying right now. So I want to get started on that. I want to start kind of get myself comfortable with writing or just publishing online.
Yeah.
So that's the start of my third Instagram account. The second one is spam. The first one is main. Third Instagram account is called 60 Days Grind. What happened is I record every single day during summer, and I would say, oh, today's productivity. What did I do? Who did I hang out? Right, like sort of
Yeah.
the things I did, and I feel good. I feel grateful. I feel like I did something. That's all it is, and it would take around not even an hour a day. It's just like half an hour ish.
Yeah.
Right. It's some kind of thing that you just when you start doing, you feel so energetic and
Yeah.
you feel so powerful. But it gets a little bumpy in the middle because you feel like, oh, why am I doing this? You just have all
You
the
question,
self-doubt, right? But you know what? I actually did keep it up for 60 days. And that's one of the things that, like you with the podcast. It's so when you first started, you really didn't put much thought into this, right? Like you just kind of
Did it?
yeah, you just
Yeah.
start doing it,
Yeah.
right? And then when you really get started, you realize, oh, I'm actually kind of interested, even like more interested in my work, even though it's a little like, oh, sometimes I really want to do it, and yeah, but at the end, you're still doing it, right? You're still on your way to become, let's say next time you hit 20 episode milestone, then 30, 50.
Yeah.
100, and then you don't even know, like it's just a little momentum that really build up the next, like that motivate the next little like milestones, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of like how my last year, so 2020 summer went. I would just hang out with friends, working on the little account. Every day I will also post about motivation quotes,
Yeah.
and people love that. People
On the
saying
grind.
this is yeah. People are like, oh wow,
They get
I
hyped
feel
up,
great,
yeah.
yeah. Some people think I'm just kind of why would you say this, right? Like
It's like relax. They're like,
yeah.
calm down, bro. You're not always on the grind.
Right. I remember in grade 9, grade 10, there's the thing called like keep calm and do whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was a terrible meme. It was just about
Keep calm and
and
stay
do whatever,
grinding.
right? Like everything and keep calm and do it.
Yeah. Even school got in on that
Yeah, no, that was the school have like posters about that. Keep on and learn math. I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
I don't want that.
I'm alright.
Yeah, definitely. I think personal growth just starting from a year ago ish that's really just the first phase of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any sort of the similar experiences then? Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you want to instill something in you, where it's like you just do it without thinking,
Right.
it's like, for example, when a lot of people, like when they do something, like example working out, right?
Right.
It's a lot of the average person probably has to motivate themselves or tell themselves to work out
Right.
when they want to, right? The thing is, for me, because
Right.
I've been training martial arts since I was young,
Oh yeah.
I can't go an hour without getting up and moving. And I shout, like, it's kind of funny. Like, people from the house are like, what is this guy doing? I shadow box, like, if I'm standing, I'm not doing anything. And if it's something mundane, I'll be shadow boxing, doing everything.
Wow.
Like, anything. My parents, like, why are you kicking the air, like, in the house? Like, you're just, like, disrupting everyone.
Like the air, right? You're killing the air.
Yeah, it's like, and just,
Right.
yeah, why are you kicking the air and all that? But it's like, I don't even think about it. You know, they say, like, it's a hobby. You know, for me, it's not a hobby. It's just part of my life.
Yes.
It is my
Yes.
life, you know?
Yes.
Like, I'm not a professional fighter, you
No.
know? I have tons of respect for them, you know, as a martial artist, as someone who trains. You know, I'd love to have a fight one day. I was supposed to have a fight, but, you know, that was a long time ago. But,
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
I think training in sports really just translate what kind of how active you are, or just how much you like to devote it in something, right? Let's say all the NBA players, let's just say some of them, they don't
Yeah,
really
the best.
actually. Yeah, let's say actually the best, they actually have proper education, but some of them they don't. They just want to play ball, and but they're focused on something. They're onto something, right? They might have a career that has that can be very successful, but like they're targeting, and that one target be like, hey, I want to be an NBA basketball player, and I want to like practice day to night, hours and hours. That's a goal. That's a like a purpose to live for. That's something that you always want to, like, just. This is what people think about, like getting up in the morning and I have a purpose. I wake up and I'm driven.
Everyone wants that feeling,
Right.
It's very
and
difficult.
it's really rare in our society, because the first thing you do is you open your phone.
Oh yeah.
Right. And then you
Who
see,
posted?
This girl texted me, or
Yeah.
this guy, he said something about my post, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like that. For me, because I've been doing a lot of sports ever since I was young, and yes, it has been a part of my life, but also I'm not very consistent with my sports. It just, I could do volleyball for another like semester, and I could do soccer for the next semester. I'll do basketball the next year, this semester. It just kind of like jump around, like basketball for a few years, soccer for a few years, swimming for a few years. But I do know how to play most of them, and it's hard for me to get into a habit, because I'm just like constantly jumping into sport, and I'm not really focusing on one. And what I did in grade 11, I just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing just participating in everything. Like I was participating skiing, golfing,
any
soccer,
sport,
volleyball, basketball, all in grade 10.
Yeah.
And
sports.
in grade 11, I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on soccer. I went to club, like a soccer club in Vancouver. I was from Vancouver, and yeah, that's pretty much how I spend my week. I went practice once a week, and game once a week too. That's sort of like my devoted passion for sports. But then now we're in uni, things got busy. We can't really play as much as sports as we used to, right? So a lot of us, like me, we choose to go to the gym, or it's not just about making your
biceps
body
bigger.
Yeah, biceps bigger. You can say that, but my biceps is definitely not bigger than you think. I think I focus more on cardio, partially because I still play soccer sometimes, and also I just running the sport, the exercise isn't just physical. I would say 10% physical and 90% mental.
Yeah.
You know what? It's really like that, because when you run for 10 minutes, and as a first time runner who maybe like 150 pound or 200 pounds runner, like it doesn't matter what age or how much weight you have, the first time you run, after a long time, it's gonna be difficult. You're gonna have
Yeah,
a hard
it
time
sucks.
breathing, and you're gonna have your legs sore all over your legs, right, for the next days or weeks even. But it's also because you didn't really practice or train for that, right? But it's also, you want to account that if you do that for another couple of times,
It's not gonna hurt anymore.
no, yeah, things changed, and every time you will see progress. You see yourself pushing 10 minutes, and the next time you see, oh, actually 10 minutes is pretty easy. And then the time after, it's like, oh, 10 minutes is really easy. It's like a fast progress for the first like couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I'm not saying that I'm not like a long-term planner or anything. I'm just saying it's fascinating to see how your body can adjust to this, to one sport, right? And I think just you gotta be motivated the entire time.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing.
It's almost less motivation, just discipline.
Right.
That's so hard. It's something that everyone, these are the things we talk about right now. Like,
Right.
everyone knows we need to have this, but,
Right.
it's easier said than done.
Yes, definitely.
Because discipline, you have to go through not being allowed to do things, being
Right.
forced to do things, right?
Right.
And we can learn it in every aspect. Like,
Right.
everyone knows, you don't have to play a sport to learn discipline. Obviously, that's a very effective way to learn. That's why everyone puts their kids in
Right.
soccer camp, basketball camp. I mean,
Definitely.
it depends what level of discipline, because they're paying you, but
Right,
your parents
right.
discipline you.
Right.
It's important because like we talk about, motivation always wanes. Like, it's up
Right.
and down.
Right. It
Like,
is.
like,
It definitely
like
is.
you're in the shower, you had a shit day, and
Yeah.
then you heard some guy motivation, and then your motivation spikes,
Yeah.
right? It's all over
it's
the
all
place.
way- yeah.
And the thing about discipline is, it's almost like you have to try. It's almost a switch in your mind.
Mhm.
It has to become not I need to, I have to,
Mhm.
or not I want to, like it must be done.
Right. That's the thing. A lot of things aren't need to be done. Like,
Mhm.
I know a lot of friends. They like clubbing. They like hanging out and just drink or doing drugs.
Yeah.
I know them, and honestly, I think they're really enjoying themselves
Mhm.
in a way that's just they're making themselves happy, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, is it really a good way to saying that you're healthy? Like physically, you might be
Mhm.
some kind of mentally healthy for the present.
Yeah.
But let's say another year or two when you realize you have kind of a disease here and there because
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
previous thing, that's a long-term thinking coming the way, right? So what I like to think about, kind of a different motivation, like what drives your motivation, is that you really gotta have a purpose. Like, as in, what do you want to do? Like, what do you really live for?
Mhm.
It might be sounds so deep. Like, I don't know. I even don't know. Like,
I don't
what
think
I want to live
really,
for.
I don't think anyone really
Right.
knows.
But you know what? What I like to know, like what I like to do, is that I like to get back to my family because they provided so much for me,
Mhm.
and I want to like help people to realize, how powerful it can be to like, help the other, or
Yeah.
just even like talk to them when they're down, or having there for them for some occasion. It's so powerful.
Mhm.
I learned that the hard way because I was there when somebody helped me. When I was lonely and when I was really just desperately trying to say something, there's a couple of friends that really helped me going through that rough patches, right? Like, that's the thing I want to get back. I want to like kind of work on myself in order to kind of influence in the positive way. And my parents also, they work hard. They're middle class. They work very hard to provide tuition. International tuition is extremely expensive.
Yeah, crazy.
And I try my best to not to spend too much money elsewhere.
Mhm.
Just in order to, it's not like living in guilt or anything. I just want to like use what they give me and then kind of pay back. I just want to gain my momentum to kind of pay back in the future. That's the
Yeah.
thing, right? I think it's just about finding that purpose, what you want to live for, and then use that kind of energy that you think of it every time, and then you just want to start doing something.
Mhm.
It's so powerful sometimes. It just, damn, I gotta start. I just gotta
Yeah.
get up and do it, Right. And that builds up a habit too, I think.
Yeah, it's one of the things that everyone strives to have a purpose in
Right.
life, right?
Right.
And you were saying, you have some people, some friends, maybe they like to drink, they like to party, and there's nothing wrong with doing that in moderation. There's nothing wrong. Listen, really, there's nothing wrong with
I
being
drink too,
alcoholic.
yeah.
Technically,
Technically,
right?
no,
It's all
nobody's gonna judge
it's
you,
all
right.
your opinion, but there are consequences to everything, and
Right.
it's fine. Having a drink once in a while, nothing wrong with going out dancing,
Yeah.
but
Everything, that you do will just impact how you will make the rest of your decision, or like things will go along with that decision. It goes on the way, right?
yeah.
Well, if only there's a Doctor Strange here that can reverse the time, but we don't.
Just no spoilers, guys.
No
Spoilers.
spoilers. Yeah.
We won't say where that's from.
Yeah. But yeah, I think another thing we really gotta keep our like heads up to, like just kind of know about, is that like everyone's different. Like everyone has their own personality and what they really like. I used to judge a lot, I think. It's not like judging can make me feel really good. I just feel like I like to compare and then see, oh wow, why are they doing this and why are they doing that?
Yeah.
That mindset really got me into a really like kind of, I wouldn't say depression, or like I would just say not comfortable state. It just I'm constantly seeing everyone else doing this and doing that, and I'm not doing this and that. I want to do this and that. Right? Like why?
A little too accurate.
Yeah, why are your parents so much richer than mine? And if I want to get a Lamborghini, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Now I'm way past this. I think everyone live for their own. Like, right? You're selfish. Like you want to like progress in your life.
Yeah.
So instead of judging people that much, you just fading away all your doubts about yourself. That's most important. Like clear the self-doubt. You look back at what you have achieved, and still okay. I actually read this somewhere. So it's called a cookie jar. A cookie jar. Let's say it's like a strategy. It's like a cookie jar. So what happened is this person I read, the book I read, he used to be really, really poor. Like his family kind of like provide him just food, only just food and just basic needs for school, whatever. And he got bullied a lot from his high school or middle school friends, or just people treat him very bad because he's big. And his dad has some abuse, it's like sensitive. Just his dad beats him and his moms a lot, so he was really constantly in depression even when he was a child. But one thing that really just like kind of shines in his life is that his mom will always put fresh cookies, in the cookie jar, and every time that he is only allowed to take 2. But what happened is his mom will always buy those Costco or just other else made, but like different kind of cookies. Her mom will bring in different kind of cookies in a jar. So this guy he wouldn't know what kind of cookies we'll get, right? And he would close his eyes every time trying to get the cookies, and he would close his eye, take that, just put his hand in the cookie jar, and take that cookie out, kind of savor it, and like just bite on that and see what that excite you. What I mean by this is that this happens in real life too, because we put our past achievements, we can think about it, put it in the cookie jar, and every time that you feel down or you feel like you're such a failure, you want to get back to the cookie jar because you don't know where you just happen to think of that past achievement you had, and you want to take it back and then start savoring it. While you're in that moment, you're kind of reliving that moment that you achieve something, and that will make the current situation feel a lot better, because you're empowered by yourself, by that cookie in the jar, because this is a lot that you have done, right? And a lot of the time, people don't ever even appreciate that. I'm not saying you're being too much ego. You just be like, oh no, I did this, I did that.
Yeah, I'm so great.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's a way to sort of push yourself when you're in desperate situations, right? You look back at the achievement and then you wanna get on it to another level. You ran 20 miles yesterday. You wanna tell yourself, hey, I did that. I'm gonna run 21 miles.
Yeah.
Right. Even that extra mile is a small cookie. Right. That's how I would put it.
Yeah, and that's like it's so powerful just having that. Just everyone gets in these states. No matter you might not be clinically depressed or
right.
Clinically diagnosed with any of these sort of disorders and
right.
But everyone feels these feelings every once in a while.
They do.
And it's important to recognize that even it doesn't have to be something big. You don't have to start your own company. Look back on that. It could be, I did bad on this test, but look, I got a 95 in this last test.
Right.
I got a 95 in this test.
I gotta keep accountable and study for this test.
It's like you have the ability. It's the most important thing. Is just we always like to compare. Society likes to compare with each other, and really we should just be comparing with ourselves and our past self, right? It's so hard to live like that, just comparing yourself to other people all the time.
Comparison
and everyone, everyone falls. I mean, social media is a huge culprit of this. And it's just. I mean, we've already talked about how damaging it can be, and social media. I think everyone really. It should. I don't think I've ever.
Should be limited.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
It's not
like
just
everything. Like we can't work out 10 hours a day.
No, you just can't.
You can't drink 50 bottles of beer.
No.
If you drink one, that's all right. You have a couple every once in a while.
Yeah.
You go on Instagram for 40 minutes a day or whatever.
I think it's just really about seeing what you want, right? Like at that point, because you might crave for some kind of a social interaction with people online, or just want to see what everyone else is doing, kind of sort of still comparing. But if that drives you, great. If that gets you to do something, great. But if you're thinking about that's kind of a just holding your back, like you're not really doing anything. I think that's the time that you really have to think about taking a different approach. Like, what is social media do to you? Right. Because it can be used as entertainment, and also it can be used as a drug. It's a good drug. It's like a bad drug. Yeah, it could be a bad drug for you too, right? Yeah, I mean, it can heal you, but also damage you too. Yeah, I think social media, in another way, I wouldn't talk too much about it, because I know some other episode has.
We talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, my personal feelings about it. I'm going to try to stay away, because I still can't really get a hand of controlling myself still sometimes. I feel like I would still scroll until I realized that I have to stop. Yeah. Which by then it's too late.
It's like, I've already wasted hours on this.
We're like, even just half an hour, I'll be like, wait, my break was only 10 minutes, and
God.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what I try to do now.
Yeah.
I put a timer like in the actual Instagram. Well, in Instagram they just say you've been on for 30 minutes, but they don't do anything with it, right? Because they want you to stay on.
They don't want to get off.
Yeah, but what I do, like, that's probably something I'm gonna do going. I mean, I couldn't do it. I was trying to do it the last few days, but like I needed to respond to your message on Instagram, so I had to unlock it. But I'm trying to limit it to max 30-40 minutes, because I don't think I've ever went on Instagram. Okay, I don't think I've went on Instagram and really, like, this was a productive use of my time, or I enjoyed it 70% of the time, probably.
Yeah.
And
most likely.
Especially with, like, when I see my favorite thing is, just looking at my fellow, people I know on there, seeing their achievements, whatever, just posting stuff, like, just casual stuff, and also, obviously, music. People share I love listening, different music, stuff's coming out. And, I feel like Instagram especially is a beautiful tool for people to share their life. I mean, social media has done so many great things, right? I mean, think about all these. I mean, think about George Floyd. What would have happened? You know,
right, nobody would know.
I mean, that was going on for so long.
Right.
If nobody posted about it, there probably wouldn't have been the same amount of uproar. You know, same thing with the farmers' protests. Same thing with Hong Kong. You know, like all these sorts of things. This is what social media is beautiful. This is how it's beautiful. You know, it gives people a voice when, you know, they're limited in their own country. You know, you can be anonymous, which has its benefits and its downsides.
Right. It's really, I think a lot of the time, it's a lot of the, like, I would say call it influencers, because they do that a lot, right? And they post about the glamorous, the lifestyle they're living in, and people sort of like want to live up to it as well, and people kind of follow that trend. That's kind of the way, kind of like how it started. Like people trying to pose the best of themselves. Of course.
Yeah.
I do that too.
Of course. You don't want to post a shitty picture.
Yeah, of course. But you know, that's the that's the thing. People post things aren't true sometimes. Like
it's a best case scenario.
Right. It's not even. I wouldn't even say it's best case. 'Cause sometimes people just post filters on themselves, right? Or
I don't know about that.
they put extra layers on, and you never know who the true
person is,
or just really the personality behind it. That you would see them or dance or doing some kind of a like a TikTok dance or the reels online, but truly they might be shy, they might be very introverted. You just never know. You cannot, based on their social media profile, think a person who he really is or really about. But that's the thing. I think a lot of us are doing that. We based on social media think, oh wait, this guy, he went to this rap concert, or he might be hanging out with these like other friends of people of him, but he's not. He just really enjoys rap music, right? It's really the opposite. But again, there's also some people just really present the true themselves. I actually pay a lot of respect to those, because I think that's what needs to be seen. I think people need to realize that sometimes actualize is just not that. You just gotta work, and then to get sort of where you wanna get in your life. It's not about all the fancy things that people posted usually, right? Yeah, very different. This is a big topic.
I mean, we could talk about this for an infinite amount of episodes, because things just keep on changing.
Right,
you know.
Right. I think that's I'm gonna go into a different direction about. I think one of the thing that I like doing the most in this summer was reading. I didn't take any internship or anything. I actually applied to quite a few. I got in quite a few, and actually I just want to spend time read. And then just cultivate my personal relationship with my family, with some of my good friends. That's very important to me. So what happened is I actually finished around 15 to 16 books in around 3 months. So averaging around a book or two in a week.
Yeah.
What happened is, because I need to be on transiting a lot to go to a driving school in China, and then
you told me.
Yes, and on the day there and back, I just started reading, because I didn't have much to do. I didn't really want to watch something on my phone, so I pulled up my Kindle and then start swiping. A lot of books that I used to read, comic books.
Hey man, something.
It works, but I still don't like reading. The only time I really got started reading was because some of my Chinese friends, they told me, hey, Jeff, check this author out. Like everyone's posting on their stories in China, and then they're like, this book is really good. It's authored by Keigo Higashino. This book's name is called 解忧杂货店. So what it means is that it's a stress relief convenience store. Yeah. Okay. So I was like wondering, what is this? Like, what is this book about? So I'm curious, like, why did everyone like it? Start reading it. So it's about like 3 people. They basically travel time and then see the difference it made. Yeah. And I kind of forget about how really the plot goes, but it's just about like 3 people. They're traveling between times. But anyways, that's not the point. It just really got me started. on reading because I like this kind of books. I think it's kind of interesting, you know. I'm
Mhm.
curious about things, anything. So I start reading more of this author's books. The first time I go to the library in Vancouver, I was there to look at the building.
Yeah.
The second time I went there, I got a card and I actually started borrowing books.
Mhm.
And the first book I borrowed is called Midsummer.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
No, I can't remember what the book's called. Really.
Shakespeare.
It's not. It's not Shakespeare. It's by Keigo Higashino, the same author.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's something about Midsummer Match. No. Nightmare. No,
Something like
anyways, it's a book also just about it's a crime fiction,
that. Mhm.
and then from crime fiction, I got hooked on it,
Yeah.
and I still was not reading much. I feel so sleepy when I start reading.
Yeah.
I every 10 minutes I would just
The
like
words just
wobbling
put you
my
to
eye.
sleep.
Yeah, but you know what? I managed to finish that book in 3 months or 4. That took a long time, and
Yeah.
while doing that I was taking notes
Mhm.
because I really enjoyed a lot of the things that the author says. The one particular I would say the most about that book is it's about detective, right? It's about people chasing or like finding like every clue to find a crime.
Mhm.
I just like thinking about like those characters built in the book. Some of them are younger than us; they're the younger generation, but the author portrays them as right, kind of naive. But they have a thought like, hey, this is my mom. You can't hurt my mom. They have that thought. So when the killer murder the mom, he knows he sees revenge.
Mhm.
Right, he wanna like really emphasize on that, and that could influence this guy or like this kid's life forever. That's really what I took away from this. It's just about like, yes, kids are naive, and but when you really took away what they really like loves, and just leave them there, they're gonna do something about it because they're
Yeah.
focusing on that, and that's just something I derived from this book. So all the other crime fiction really like kind of point out or like just showed us all possible ways of social issues. It could be about like I read another book about crime on a person who would like never admit that he did it, and no police can find that he did it, but they all knew he did it because there's every reason pointing to him doing that.
Mhm.
But all he does is just not saying anything. He just sat there. What's that called? The Fifth Amendment in the United States? You just not saying.
The right to not answer. Or
Exactly.
Something like
Exactly.
The right to
so
silence.
what this guy would do is he just won't talk.
that. Mhm.
Even they ask you, are you willing to say something? He would just not talk, and the police cannot do anything. That's
Yeah.
what it did.
They can't force you to talk.
You can't force him, and then he
Well,
just out of
legally they can't force you.
yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course. But that's a thing. That's a flaw. It's not like a flaw. It's just some kind of injustice there. And then there's more revenges towards that. They want to kill that person because he killed my family member or whatever. But was that right? To kill someone who killed your family member, like was killing another person right? See,
An
a
eye for
lot
an
of
eye,
issues
yeah.
just come up there, right? It's moral.
Mhm.
It's about our law or different states of laws. Like Japan's law is different than United States law.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's come up with a lot of issues. That's what I loved about reading. You learn things every time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it's about.
Yeah.
And people like to. This is the one thing we had an episode about our
Mhm.
favorite pieces of media with one
Okay.
of my old friends.
Okay.
And we talked about the impact a piece of media can have on you because we're all very interested.
Right.
We're really into anime, like myself, my friends from high school.
Mhm.
I have a friend he's an artist, visual artist, and a writer.
Right.
I'm a creator music. I'm a musician, so
Right.
we all have this. We have some sort of connection on this, and media. It doesn't have to be impactful in a sense. For example, like one of my favorite genres of anime is called slice of life.
Okay.
And slice of life genre is essentially mundane things, like going to high school. Things
Oh, I see,
everyone
I see.
everyone will experience. Going
Right,
to junior
right.
high, daily problems. They're
Right.
usually comedy oriented, you know,
Right.
maybe some like, you know, teenage romance, whatever, you know,
Definitely, yeah.
and it's I mean, they're some of my favorite shows because something that could seem so pointless to watch.
It could be
Really-
to some people's, but
Yeah.
you derive something from watching it so often.
I think yeah,
right?
I think anyone can derive something from it because
Right.
it's so similar to our lives. It's
Right.
you know, it takes place in Japan. It's a
Right.
completely different world than, you know, going up in Canada. Different cultural norms, different cultural makeup,
Yeah.
different laws, you know, different history.
Mhm.
But we all have the connection of being human, you know, and these
Right.
things that we all feel, you know, love.
Has the wow
Loss,
factor behind all the stories.
Yeah, and it could be. There's some of the best. I personally think some of the best shows that you could watch. What's very popular are shonen. You know, shonen is a specific genre marketed towards. Generally, it's considered like boys between 10 and 18.
Okay.
That age range, and it's very hero, bad guy.
Mhm,
Hero gets beat up a lot, and eventually gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
Right,
That's kind
sort
of
of like Marvel.
yeah. It's essentially what that
Yeah.
is. The superhero villain story with a
Yeah.
lot of. It's generally comedy, and that's what most people watch.
Yeah, they do watch that. They
a
enjoy
lot
that.
of people,
I
you know.
enjoy that too.
Yeah, and you know, there's nothing wrong with that. I
Yeah,
enjoy shonen
yeah,
too.
Awesome. It's good to watch anything that you're enjoying there, right? Like if you think it's doing good to you, it's either providing entertainment value or it's like a learning value too.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, it doesn't have to be like, for example,
Right.
I watched a show. As a martial artist, you got to watch good martial arts anime, and Grappler Baki. So, it's literally this kid Baki, super jacked, like 13-year-old guy, and his dad is the strongest man in the world. Basically, he can just kick everyone's ass, and
wow.
and he's like, his whole goal is to defeat him. That's a whole. It's a
Oh.
5-season
Just
show.
defeat.
That's his whole goal. First 2 seasons is just him, you know, getting destroyed, wrecking people, then getting destroyed. It's like the most ridiculous, like, martial arts show you'll ever watch. Like, he like fights a giant ape. It's kind of comically like exaggerated, and then they
Right.
made a Netflix series about it,
Right.
an updated one called Baki, and it's just one of my favorite shows because, you know, the drive as a martial artist that you feel to better yourself, because martial art is really the study of oneself. It's not the
Right.
study of fighting,
Right.
right? I had an episode where I invited I have 2 episodes with, you know, fellow martial artists, my old crew Nick Bautista, and Nick Canieto from the TGR podcast. He was one of my old training partners, and we talk about the power of martial art. And, you know, when I watch these kind of shows, I see him training. You know, that's why everyone gets pumped up during a training montage, right?
Definitely.
And, you know, Baki is one of those shows. It's just like good, like it's kind of good fun. You know, like it's just stupid stuff, but it's also,
You know,
so, you can't
Yeah.
describe. Like I don't know how to
I
describe
remember
the feeling. You know?
this movie called Rocky. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
heard
of course,
it.
Rocky.
He got
Classic.
beaten countless, but he stands up still, right, at the end. I think this is sometimes that people kind of undervalued most of the time, or just prefer
Yeah.
not to think about it too much. It's just like, it's only when you just being persistent, consistent about things that you enjoy or just wanting to do, then they really create something, or else you're just you're just doing it for the time being, right? Same with your martial art. It's like when you're doing it, you can kind of when you're doing it like on a daily or like consistent basis, you can really integrate it to your daily life. Like it's either about the shows that you watch, or it's about like you just casual conversation. You kind of drive you into this like mindset that, hey, martial artists kind of teach me how to like facilitate my own mind, and that really just constantly a reminder on myself, right? It's sort of a like backing you up. It's a part of your life, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I talk about martial arts a lot on these podcasts because it's like integral in my life.
Yeah, definitely.
And
so I think the things that you're enjoying is like a lot are connected to martial arts.
Martial
too,
art.
right?
I mean, I love music, of course.
Right,
But
right.
these things are basic in human society.
Definitely.
Music, food,
Sports.
sport, martial art is common. Like these three things, I like to think about. Music, martial art, food is in every culture.
Right.
And these are some of these like I guess
Definitely.
right now
Mhm.
they're probably my most like I have the most passion towards these things. Food is something I got into before, like at the beginning. I always loved food. My parents are foodies as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been cooking a lot too, and
Yeah, I saw your
absolutely
Instagram.
I enjoy cooking as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I started cooking a lot during
Yes,
like
that's
COVID.
awesome. Yeah.
I started, and now like
Ah.
I can say I'm
Yeah.
a competent home cook.
Yeah,
I can
no,
cook a lot of
course.
things.
I think a lot of people are trying to, because we live our own sometimes, right? And,
Yeah.
especially when you by yourself,
You have no
it's
choice.
Yeah, you either do takeouts, which I mean I would do that sometimes.
It's
It
expensive.
costs a lot of money, and also sometimes it's just not very healthy. Like even the ramen you order, it's very salty for me.
Oh yeah,
actually.
of course. I mean, ramen is fast food for a reason.
Occasionally, definitely not. Like it's okay. It's
Of course.
fine. I enjoy doing that, hanging out with my friend, going to a ramen or any place, fried chicken,
Yeah, of
Popeyes,
course.
all that. But you do it on a like regular basis. You get all the fatty, you get all the oils, and
Mhm.
yeah, it's not very healthy, right?
Yeah,
So
it is
so-
expensive too.
Yeah.
It's a common misconception.
Definitely.
It's like 50. Like, imagine having to buy even the cheapest thing.
Yeah.
You're paying for the convenience of getting it and not having to make it. But when you make your own food, it's common, I think, in just all Asian society.
Right.
Whatever part, east, west, north, south. It's a lot of parents, they don't tell you, I love you. I'm
No,
like
yeah,
my
not
parents.
Yeah, they have their own way to express
Yeah,
the love.
and
right?
many, they express it like a lot of moms. They'll express it through food.
Right.
I
Yes.
love
love that.
providing
Yeah.
like your parents will
That
provide.
is very true. That is very
Because they don't know. It's not very. Feelings are not really talked about a lot. I'm
Right.
thankful my parents. They grew up here.
Right.
Their parents weren't really. They say my grandparents obviously I love you to me. But my parents, they're not very. They're obviously much better than my grandparents were to them, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But they try their best to communicate, and I appreciate it because I know how hard it was probably for them.
Definitely.
With my grandparents, and
Yeah.
food is something that, it's something that. It's so basic. All these things are so basic, right? Like
Mhm.
music, food. Anything can be music.
But it's just
Yeah.
you gotta have that in your life. You cannot have food, right? You cannot not
Yeah.
have food. I think that really just kind of like we talk about food, we talk about sports, we talk about like personal development. It's all for your own happiness, right? Like
Mhm.
if you're feeling good about doing something, then go for it. It's good. You're gonna be putting a smile on your face.
Mhm.
And I like that. I like to see everybody else smile as well. I think that really make me happy too.
Yeah.
So, just providing any values to our society. It's whether about like posting just a food picture and they say, "Oh wow, that looks
Oh,
amazing."
that looks
right?
great. Yeah.
Yeah, or just like having able to talk to people about different subjects. Like right now, we can really talk about a lot of things. It's just
Anything, man.
anything. You come up with cars on the street. You talk about how the engineering kids are struggling. Right? 'Cause it's all about that. Right? It's just it's
Yeah.
like life is so much more than you think it would be. Sometimes you think about, oh wow, I'm so bored, I'm so lonely. But if you really think about it, every single element, like the thing that you sleep, the pillow that you sleep on, that's made from a machine that can be invented. I'm just saying this. It might be very boring. It's also boring to me, but I'm just saying everything in life, they invented it.
Yeah.
Like just this century, and we're just getting accustomed to it because we're such a busy life. We just often miss these things. We forget to appreciate the little things that
Yeah.
people created.
even things that we didn't create, you know,
Yeah.
like sitting down in a field and looking at the ants,
Right. That's
you
the
know,
that's a beauty of
appreciating
nature.
the small
Yeah.
things. I bought this book. It's a super short book. Oh, I forgot what it's called. Three houses on a hill or something like
Okay,
that? I
okay.
forgot. It's like these old, I guess, not really tales, just reflections on life that
Right.
are from some old Chinese writers
Right.
and Japanese as well. The oldest one was, I think, a Chinese writer from, I think, maybe 1,000 years ago or something like
Right.
that.
We did have all of that.
Yeah, and you know, it's just reflecting on the simple life,
Right.
right? And that's one thing. When I went back to India, you know, when you see people we would consider nothing,
Right.
like just like the country, like you see people who are living with nothing. They get paid a rupee a day, which is like 2 cents a day to survive from their job that they work 12 hours a day for. You know, but these people can still be happy. You know, if we can have so much, right?
Yeah.
If you make over $50,000, you're in the 1% of the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
That-
everyone
there it
likes
is.
to complain about the 1%ers at the top. We're making
Right.
billions and billions of dollars, but you have to remember too that if you live in a country where you make over 50,000 US dollars, you're in the top 1% of the entire
Right.
world. You know,
You
There's
just want to focus on, you know, what you have already and starting to appreciate things. That will make you like kind of your mindset changes, and as you're like kind of have getting this positivity, you will do well in a lot of things, right? Like it will just kind of like really accumulate into you doing something even better, or just you don't want to like, let's just say you want to study. You don't want to study with, you know, a lot of emotions into it.
Yeah.
Like it's you're not gonna like really focus. I mean, you can cram it, sure, but just you're not gonna like study it, right? So it's best to always keep it positive. I just not positive. I just say like a decent, at least like content attitude. Just hey, I'm gonna do this now, and because I know I have to, let's just do it, and let's just keep myself learning. And once I've learned, then we're done, right? Like we're progressing. We're moving on to the next thing. Right?
Yeah, it's all about the flow, man.
The mindset and the flow, exactly.
Just life is like a river. It'll
Right.
flow, and whether you want to jump in the water or not, right? It's gonna flow no matter
things
what.
will go on eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you realize that you're, you know, moving along or not, it's gonna happen, and you know, you might as well just try to make the best of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
And I feel like that, you know, people always ask, what is the meaning of life? And I feel like the meaning of life is to live.
Yeah.
Right? Simple. Keep it simple, man.
Right.
Don't think, humans like to complicate things a lot.
You're not trying to be anyone else. You're trying to be yourself.
Just be.
Live. Oh, yeah.
Just be,
Just
you
be
know?
just try to live.
And on that note, guys, that concludes today's episode. Thank you, Jeff, for coming on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem, man. No problem. It's been we had a great talk.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could talk even longer.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. I have a lot of things.
Yeah.
Even more about the grind. I'm sure you guys are tired of this already.
About the grind.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening. And make sure to check Jeff out. I'll link his Instagram in the bio. And one of my boys, Ethan Sanchez, he just dropped a new book, #1 bestseller in home development or something. It's on converting shipping containers and what you can do with them. I'll plug him right here. I'll put his link in the description. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let me know how that. Yeah, I'll check it out as well. You know.
Yeah, and check out our website. It should be in the description somewhere, and then check out our Instagram at @the.waypodcast. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for having us.
Bye bye.